The Midnight Express, a bill forged in darkness, Washington, D.C. It was late, very late. While most of America slept, the U.S. House of Representatives was wide awake. On May 22, 2025, under the cloak of a pre-dawn session, something big happened. Lawmakers, fueled by coffee, pushed through a massive piece of legislation. President Trump's new tax and spending bill, titled the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, saw the light of day. The vote, a nail-biter. The bill passed by the slimmest of margins, 215 to 214, one single vote. This was a political battle waged in the aisles of Congress. The air was thick with tension. The passage marked a significant, if contentious, victory for the Trump administration. The bill's journey was anything but smooth. Intense negotiations, arm-twisting, and last-minute deals. Reports suggest President Trump himself was deeply involved. The White House had made it clear failure was not an option. This wasn't just about policy, it was about loyalty, power, and political survival. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act is now on its way, but its beauty, or lack thereof, is truly in the eye of the beholder. Let's peel back the layers of this One Big Beautiful Bill Act. What's inside? A whole lot of tax cuts. Individual income and estate tax cuts from Trump's first term are back. New exemptions, no tax on tips, overtime pay, and some auto loan interest. The standard deduction gets a temporary boost. The child tax credit sees a temporary bump. For wealthier families, the estate tax exemption climbs to $15 million. The SALT deduction cap is raised to $40,000. A novel Trump savings account initiative. A $1,000 federal contribution for babies born between 2024 and 2028. But who pays? The bill proposes significant spending changes. Medicaid faces a $700 billion reduction. New work requirements for able-bodied adults without dependents. The Congressional Budget Office estimates 8.6 million Americans could lose their health coverage. Funding for healthcare for lower-income Americans is also facing cuts. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, faces a $267 billion cut over 10 years. States will soon have to cover 5% of benefit costs and 75% of administrative costs by 2028. Work requirements for SNAP are expanding too. Defense spending is soaring, with nearly $150 billion for the Defense Department. Education faces $330 billion in cuts, and environmental protections are being rolled back. The reaction to this midnight legislative marathon? Predictably, it was a firestorm. Republicans were jubilant. House Speaker Mike Johnson hailed the passage as historic. The former president praised the bill and urged the Senate to pass it quickly. For them, this was a promise kept, a victory delivered. Democrats, however, saw a very different picture. House Democratic leaders slammed the bill as a tax scam. They issued dire warnings about its consequences for children, women, the elderly, and disabled Americans. Even former President Barack Obama publicly denounced the bill. The division wasn't just between parties. Two staunch conservatives, Thomas Massie and Warren Davidson, broke ranks. They voted against the bill due to concerns about the ballooning deficit. One Republican even voted present, a quiet form of protest. It took intense negotiations and personal intervention from Trump to get the bill across the finish line. Concessions were reportedly made to moderates and lawmakers from Democratic-led states. The White House played hardball. The pressure from the top was enormous. This bill was a must-win. The drama isn't over, it's just moved to a new stage, the Senate. What happens now that the One Big Beautiful Bill Act has squeezed through the House? Economic alarm bells are ringing. The Congressional Budget Office estimates this bill could add $2.3 trillion to the deficit. Some reports suggest it could add $5.2 trillion to the U.S. debt over time. In the next fiscal year alone, it's expected to increase the budget deficit by $600 billion. Moody's recently downgraded the U.S. credit rating. They cited the already large national debt and the potential impact of bills like this one. The CBO report indicates potential cuts to Medicare, possibly to the tune of $500 billion. This bill fundamentally reshapes the nation's fiscal landscape. The bill now heads to the Senate. Senate Democrats, led by Chuck Schumer, plan to oppose the bill vigorously. Republicans aim to get it passed by July 4th. If the Senate makes any changes, the bill has to go back to the House for another vote. This saga is far from over. Democrats are already planning to use this vote against Republicans in the upcoming midterm elections. They see it as a clear example of Republican priorities. With such a narrow House majority, every vote, every bill, every controversy like this one puts Republican seats at risk. The passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act might feel like a triumph for its supporters today. But the ultimate question remains. Is it a genuine win for the country, or a flashing red warning sign of trouble ahead? Only time and perhaps the next election will tell. Stay tuned.